I'm gonna move. Okay. Or. Okay. Unfortunately, we can't move our fence. How's that? Instagram. I can fix that.
That's fine for me.
We're going to open house in 5.
Yeah, we're good. Do you need anything else from me up here? Can I go meet a little bit?
You're all good to go.
Okay, cool. Way to sort it out, team.
I figured this is the last. Oh, maybe yeah. Pretty
Oh, and thank you for Is open or show you the things. There's a green in there? No, I'm just kidding. Welcome. Love everybody. Oh my God, it's so great to see you. I'm seeing so many friends, so many supporters, and this is just incredibly heartwarming because we have an amazing program for you this year, and I'm just hoping that you all show up at the movies too and walk out the full 4 days. My name is Samara Johnson, and I'm the Director of Programming at Washington Independent Film Festival. And to share this slate of films with you. This is the first time since before the pandemic that we've tried to pull off the festival visited. But it's our 25th year, and we wanted to celebrate. And like lots of 25-year-olds, we're scrappy, we're full of big visions and big dreams, and so we're just gonna go for it and hope we can pull it off. So I wanted to acknowledge the work of our small staff. Nicole Gullickson, our managing director, has been working her tail feathers off. Be nice to her. And also our special ops wonder, Aubrey Hollingshead, has been juggling lots of details to make it all happen. Plus she made this rad poster art that's at the center of that circle up there and on the cover of your programs that hopefully you got in the lobby. So cool. Let's see, Paige Gerhardt has been crafting our marketing and socials and beyond, and Jareth Zhang, our new development coordinator, has been helping us connect with resources near and far, and she's also a really great office cheerleader. A special thank you goes out to Kathy Carter, who made this gorgeous little pocket guide for our festival this year. Please feel free to mark it up. There's a little tiny notes section in there if you dig for it. So you can make little tiny mouse notes about what you want to see. And also just an angel that fell to earth, Annie Lundgren, who's been helping us this past week get our ticketing platform up and running. Thank you, Annie. One thing I really can't emphasize enough is that this is a big year. It's a big year and it's a big program. We're celebrating 25 years. And so I really am hoping people will block out all 4 days, make it a staycation, do your thing, go see as much as you can. And also, of course, our board of directors, led by the fearless Gary Kaut. If you guys could all wave or stand up or something. They're right over there. Feel free to harass them. They have red lanyards on. These people and their hard work and dedication have kept our organization afloat, along with the generous donations by community members, grantors, sponsors, and volunteers, and every person that has helped to build this organization over the past 25 years. And always a huge thank you to our entire screening team who helps me sift through our hundreds of submissions, and our programming team, whose collective knowledge, smarts, and taste helped to shape this ultimate program. Okay, I'm gonna get through announcements really soon, I promise. And I wanna say happy birthday to Bruce Hostetler, who's coming back this year to help pull it all off too. Today's his birthday. And then real quick, Nicole has a few announcements to make, so please come up. Nicole Gullickson, our managing director.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for all being here. It's so great to see so many people out here, and whew, it's always a little nervous to get up. Okay, so a few announcements I'd love to share. We have memberships happening until March 31st, so if you are wanting a discount on any of these amazing films, please sign up. You'll have till the 31st. And then tomorrow, for those members, we have our tickets going on sale. All you have to do is log into your account that you made with your email, and you have your early access. For general public, April 1st will be the date that all of the other tickets will go on sale. So if you have any questions about memberships or tickets or anything at all, come to the front, and we would be happy to answer any questions you have. So thank you so much for all being here.
All right, you guys are allowed to yell at me if you can't hear me, but I'm going to do my best. Okay. It's our 25th year. That's a beautiful poster. Let's kick off with opening night. So our opening night film is a documentary called The Big Cheese. It's by director Sarah Jo Wolanski, and Sarah is a documentary director and Emmy-nominated producer who spent the early part of her career working for The New Yorker, building their shorts programs. She sent us this film about the competitive world of cheesemongering, and I was surprised and delighted to discover that Sam Rollins of New Sammy's Cowboy Bistro is heavily featured in the film. So that's just, a hometown hero. So I want to show you a trailer for this, but before we do, I want to let you know that after this screening on Thursday night, we'll be having our opening night bash at Ashland Springs Hotel with cheese tastings by our friends at the Rogue Creamery and the Oregon Cheese Cave. So let's take a look.
You would have told me that I'd be in the cheese business. I've told you you're out of mind.
I worked for a bank. I have a PhD in German literature.
Cheese gave me a direction, gave me a passion.
But people think the cheesemonger is another person behind a deli counter.
Oh, so you sell cheese? That's funny. Like, what's funny about it?
So we made cheesemongering a sport. And when they cut a perfect quarter pound, the audience goes crazy. This year, Team USA will go to compete in the Olympics of Cheese, Mondial du Fromage in France. If you win, you are the world's best cheesemonger.
If you've gotten to this contest and can't taste the difference between a sheep's milk cheese and a goat's milk cheese, my friend, you're never going to get there in time.
There is this rivalry with US and Europe.
They don't think that we have the skills or the talents or even look at cheese the same way that they do.
In other parts of the world, a cheesemonger is a career.
But in the United States, we don't get the respect.
Do you have an opinion on American cheesemongers?
Je les connais pas.
Winning would mean, oh crap, the Americans, they know what they're doing.
So good. This is a big year. This has definitely pushed them farther than they've ever been pushed in their career. And I'm just really nervous.
I think it's a stress right now.
10 seconds to finish. Hurry up, please.
I do it as a redemption. I want to be the one.
The two people who becomes Team USA tomorrow are who can actually win this mother.
Cheese is a passionate food.
Cheese does that to you, doesn't it?
This is one of the most amazing, important moments in their life. How does anyone respond to that pressure?
All right, the big cheese. Okay, so I'm going to try to help organize our thoughts tonight by first talking about, you need to hear me louder? Okay. It means I need to get closer to the microphone. Okay, so I've organized this with some documentary paths that you can follow if you like to follow themes. So we have activism, environmental, history, and portraits this year. And we're going to kick off with the activist path. The through line with all the films in this category is fired up people, passionate enough about what they believe in to really fight for it. In this section of films, we have young women finding their voices and power in Guatemala, students speaking up about institutionalized racism, citizens uniting to protest gross polluters to our environment, disability activists, and what happens when politics make their way into college campuses. First, I want to take a look at Comparsa by directors Vicki Curtis and Doug Anderson. Vicki Curtis was a story advisor on We Are Guardians, which maybe some of you guys saw at one of our festivals. It was in 2024. And also one of the producers, Olivia Oneman, brought us Porcelain War. So the spirit of these young women is inspirational, and we're reminded of the power of art as a tool not just for healing, but for change. So let's take a look at that.
Hablar de mi comunidad para mí es demasiado complejo. Hay cosas y situaciones que no pueden salir de acá. Como dicen, en boca cerrada no entran moscas.
Va, ok, hagamos un circulito así. Y con todo el cuerpo, ¿sí?
Soy Leslie Noemi Canela Pérez. Tengo un instinto protector para las chicas que me rodean. una pluma. Y cuando ya no cabían, exploraban en ese inmenso laberinto de maravillas y errores. En el hogar seguro Virgen de la Asunción se le prendieron fuego a 56 niñas y 41 niñas murieron ese día.
Tenemos que decir la verdad sobre lo que pasó. Esto depende de nosotras. Siempre van a pasar en las noticias lo malo que pasa siempre.
Una mujer que desaparecieron el domingo, salieron a vender empanadas y ya no se supo más de ellas.
Cuando tengas 2 años, te enseñarán a obedecer. Cuando tengas 4 años, te sembrarán una cultura de miedo. ¿Cuántas veces te has quedado callada? ¿Cuántas veces?
Yo no puedo hablar con las demás personas, pero con la persona que más lo necesita hablar es con mi hermana.
No quiero nombrar su niña presa y no tengo una lista de niñas quemadas.
All right, next up we have This Is Not a Drill. Okay, so I keep saying to people in the office that I wish I had a Venn diagram to explain the crossover of themes with all of our films this year. And this is a great crossover film because it is activism, but it's also environment. And so I'm actually going to talk to you about it a little bit more later in the environmental section. These two films, Best Day Ever and White 9, both of these films are exploring what it means to be empowered and how to find independence and access. The Best Day Ever is about an adaptive mountain, sorry, I'm trying to see with this shadow here. Adaptive mountain bikers working with their community to create an accessible trail that is still challenging and satisfying to everyone in the biking community, regardless of their body types. White 9 explores the accessibility in another way, chronicling a group of men who, after becoming disabled, realized that more resources are needed to achieve independent living. And so their activism sort of sprouts from that need. Both of these films are a real reminder that when everyone has a seat at the table, so to speak, positive change is truly possible. True North is the latest film from director Michelle Stevenson. It's stunning and a wonderful film. Again, this film belongs in a few categories, and this is one of them. So we're going to dive into that a little bit more in the history section. Next up, First They Came from My College by Patrick Bresnan. Patrick is alumni here at AIFF and brought a film that I really loved in 2019 called Pahokee, if any of you remember that. It was just a beautiful and immersive portrait of a place. And this time, Patrick is delving into a current drama that unfolded at the new college in Sarasota, Florida. Here's a trailer.
Who's been to Florida? Raise your hand.
Great to be in Sarasota at beautiful new college.
Who has been to college?
We must ensure that our institutions of higher learning are focused on academic excellence.
And then raise your hand if you have ever experienced a Christo-fascist takeover of your college.
Coming to New College, we didn't have frats or sororities. I wanted academic rigor.
It's such a good community for artistic, educated people that want to learn.
Radical acceptance sets New College apart.
College is the closest thing that you can get to a utopia.
New College became captive to left ideology, gender ideology, CRT, all this stuff.
January 6, 2023, DeSantis appointed 6 members to the Board of Trustees.
It starts with this hostile takeover of New College of Florida. The fight is on.
And then President Walker getting fired.
Welcome to Interim President Richard Corcoran.
My second year as governor, a friend of mine said, will you get rid of New College with me?
We'll immediately abolish all of these programs. Done.
It's crap. Take her out, please.
When books go, so does democracy.
That Governor DeSantis' conservative project is an attempt to save the republic.
As a red wave sweeps New College's leadership, students, faculty, and parents are pushing back.
How dare you come to this school on the premise of liberating the students from being cultural hostages when you were the hostage taker?
We have the incredible capacity for love and community.
Phrases that most describe the culture: politically correct, druggies, weirdos.
That's why they're oppressing us.
Anyone interested in maintaining higher education free of political coercion needs to pay attention to what is happening at New College.
We live in a world that tries to make people into enemies. What's bound me to other people is art.
We're in an environment that is hostile to us. I've been doing this for 29 years, and I've never seen anything like this.
Okay, so in addition to the film, we're going to have a talk back on Sunday of the festival around this film and arts, education, and ideology with the director and producer of the film, and joining them will be SOU's Andrew Gay. Okay, let's talk about the environmental path. You guys, we have some really special films here. Again, I'm going to go back to This Is Not a Drill. Oh, is this working still? Oh. Hello, hello, hello? Yeah? We're getting a request to turn up the trailers louder too. So if anybody in the control room can help with volume. Can you guys hear me now? No. Okay, we need, there we go. Okay. Yeah. They probably didn't want to hear whatever I was mumbling under my breath during the trailer, you guys. They're just trying to protect you from that. Okay, so first we're going to get back to This Is Not a Drill. This is a film directed by Oren Jacoby, in which a young man discovers that he's an activist after learning about a crude oil pipeline in Tennessee. This film touches on inspired youth, environmental racism, and the power of citizen action. This is one of my favorite kinds of environmental films, one that highlights citizen action and leaves us feeling hopeful. And we do have a trailer.
Pipeline companies usually win. Communities usually get run over. They think they're going to be able to come here and do whatever it is they wish without us fighting back. But we also know the legacy and history of Black movements, Black resistance. Eternal optimism that we can resist. And when we fight back, we could win.
So I always like to think about things from multiple vantage points. So in the environmental section, I like to think about the natural world in terms of beauty, in terms of activism, colonization, warming, and restoration. And so this next one was really a delight for me, Nuisance Bear, because I programmed this short version of this, I think in 2021 in our short docs program. And so when I saw that this was premiering at Sundance, I was really excited to see how they developed it into a feature-length film. It was directed by Jack Weissman and Gabriella Osio Vanden. And they just won the Grand Jury Prize at Sundance, so it was very well received. And it's visually just incredibly cinematic. It also features a score by Cristobal Tapia de Veer of White Lotus fame. Some of you may be familiar with his composing. And this film is narrated by an Inuit elder and really explores ideas around colonization, how and when we make radical changes to our natural environments, and ideas around who belongs where when changes are occurring. So it's really nuanced and lovely and meditative and just gorgeous to look at. And I wish I had a trailer for you, but I don't. They don't have one yet. The River Remembers. So we just experienced two of the most historic dam removals ever, one right here in our own backyard with the Klamath River and one further north on the Elwha. This is a lovely film that really gets into the indigenous perspective on why river health matters, not just for our ecosystems, but also culturally. This film is going to play with First Descent, Kayaking the Klamath, which chronicles a group of Native American teenagers who kayak the Klamath all the way from the headwaters to the ocean, the first to traverse the entire stretch of river post-dam removal, and it's just uplifting and wonderful. You will love it. Mary Oliver, Saved by the Beauty of the World. Is anybody here a poetry fan? This film is surprising, and we're reminded of how powerful our natural world is in terms of sparking joy and the invigorating energy of long-term friendships and going your own way. And you might be wondering why it's in this section. It's because I want you to be in the Venn diagram of your mind and knowing that in my mind, this is an environmental film, but it's also an arts film, it's also a portrait doc, it's all of those things. Okay, the history path. History is not boring. History is where we've been and what shapes us now. We have several films that unpack fascinating chapters in our collective history. First up, I want to talk about Our Mr. Matsura by Beth Harrington. This is just a remarkable life story, one that comes with a treasure trove of historic imagery, of people whose history is often neglected. I'm going to show you a really delightful trailer, and I want you to notice the score by Mark Orton. I don't know if you guys remember, Mark came for our composer panel last year, and he scored 2 films this year that are a part of our program. One's a documentary, and one is a narrative. And so, anyway, this might get stuck in your head. Okay, here we go.
Who is this guy? He was a Japanese photographer in the Okanagan.
He's an enigma, the displaced son of a samurai family.
Almost nothing is known about Frank Matsura in Japan.
Why? For God's sake, why would he come here?
It was a very difficult time. It brought an enormous removal of native-held lands, and that's what Frank walked into at that time.
So there had to be a lot of trust.
He helped build bridges that didn't exist.
He defies almost every stereotype.
He also seems to be taking the medium to a different place.
I love this picture, but it's just a pure joy.
Half of the people in the picture are my relatives.
This is my grandfather and the last chief of the Inuit tribe.
This is a photo of my great-grandmother, Lucy.
This is my aunt.
My great-grandfather.
My great-great-grandfather.
And this photo is made by Frank Matsura.
This is just a bonus image of Matsura's. Okay, next up, Seeds of Peace. Oh, you guys, this is such a treat. We have 2 films playing together that highlight elder women, both incredible badasses who lived through an intense chapter in history, on two sides of the same war, and they both live here in the Rogue Valley, one in Medford and one in Ashland. In The Seeds of Peace, we meet Hideko, who survived the Hiroshima bombing as a 10-year-old, and then grew up to become a peace activist, planting trees descended from a special ginkgo tree that also survived the bombing. And then in Out of Place, filmed by Audie Carlisle, local Mitzi Loftus explores her history living through the Japanese internment camps here in the U.S. as a child. These camps sprung up across states in the U.S. after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, displacing around 120,000 Japanese Americans, with one of these camps being right nearby in Tule Lake in Siskiyou County. Audie Carlisle, who you may be familiar with her Shasta stories, we've shown them at our film center, and she always makes incredible work. So this pairing is really, really very cool, and we should have Mitzi and Hideko with us. Now I'm going to get back to True North. Some of you may remember Going to Mars, the Nikki Giovanni project, which was co-directed by Michelle Stevenson and her husband, Joe Brewster. This one she did on her own, and this chronicles a student uprising in Canada in 1969. Michelle uncovered powerful, never-seen-before archival footage for this film, and her direction always has a way of playing with time and memory, and it can go a little bit surreal. It's got a lot of vibe. She's a really interesting director, and this is an important chapter in history. Here we go.
Is Canada a racist country?
James McGill, the founder of McGill University himself, owned 12 slaves. Slaves were also brought from Sierra Leone, 5,000 of them to build the citadel in Nova Scotia. So don't tell me that black people didn't come here as slaves. The black people were brought here as slaves. Learn your history.
You think the Negro people get an even break?
Yes.
No discrimination?
No discrimination.
Si vous aviez encore le choix entre être comme vous êtes ou être toute blanche, qu'est-ce que vous choisiriez?
J'aimerais être blanche.
I want to know that if something happens in Halifax, people from Haiti, Africa, Montreal, San Francisco, wherever they might be, man, they're going to get themselves together. And that whole white capitalist complex will know that we are forces to be reckoned with.
Before they put iron shackles on our legs, now they put economic shackles on.
Come on, move! Move! Get off your asses!
Faut pas se mentir, ça touche. Dans le sens, mon âme est encore colonisée.
The struggle is a persistent, a constant one. And once you stop, you die.
Okay, let's talk about portraits. So I had the joy of seeing this film Joy Bubbles at Sundance this year. It's by director Rachel Morrison, and it's a super wild story. This uplifting film recounts the story of Joe Ingracia, a boy who was born blind and fell in love with the telephone. For him, it was a way to connect with the outside world, and he loved everything that it could do. He loved that it made sounds and tones. He loved that it could connect him with people outside of his home, anywhere. And then he discovered that he had perfect pitch. And he discovered that he could whistle and mimic the tones that he made on the push buttons. And then he discovered that by whistling into the phone, he could override the phone system and make free long-distance calls. So he was like the OG hacker. And that's just the beginning of the story. So he managed to defy a paternalistic, ableist society and subverted the monopoly of the global telecom network. But he also was super inspired by Mr. Rogers. And then he made it his goal to spread joy. in his life. So anyway, it's a good one. If it's going to show, I want to just say this too. It's going to show both at the Varsity, and we have a couple new satellite venues this year. One of them is the White Rabbit Clubhouse. And if you go to the one at the White Rabbit Clubhouse, it will be screened with open audio captions. So it'll have the audio descriptors in case anybody blind is there or visually impaired. And so that one, the audio mix will be a little bit different. Next up, we have Sun Ra. Do you guys know who Sun Ra is? Okay. This is by acclaimed director Christine Turner. This radical cosmonaut, Egyptologist, experimental jazz musician, total force, singular figure in American jazz history, perhaps most famous for his science fiction movie Space is the Place, which he co-wrote and stars in, and then, of course, the soundtrack of that film. This is kind of a comprehensive tribute to the life of one of America's most compelling artistic visionaries, jazz mystic Sun Ra. Something that I really loved about this film is the way that Turner used his music to score the film. And, you know, a lot of people are familiar with Sun Ra's music being really challenging, and a lot of people will describe it as noise. So whatever you think you might know about his music, you might be pleasantly surprised by how lyrical and lovely it is. And so the music edit was really impressive to me, as well as just learning more about this fascinating character. Now we're going to get back to Mary Oliver. This film was lovingly directed by Sasha Waters and covers the radical life of Mary Oliver, best-selling poet and Pulitzer Prize winner, lover of dogs and long walks in the woods, queer and out and intensely private. Her poems inspire liberals and conservatives, atheists and believers, naturalists and urbanites. If poetry had a pop icon, Mary Oliver would be it. It features poems read by Helena Bonham Carter, Steve Buscemi, Stephen Colbert, Lucy Dacus, Jesse Wells, Oprah Winfrey, and also features a lot of interview footage with John Waters, who was a close friend of hers. I had no idea. It's just lovely. Okay, and then in this portrait section, I'm going to show you a couple things that are portraits of families, unconventional families. Adam's Apple was directed by Amy Jenkins, and this is another film that was expanded from a short film that was in the Short Docs program that I did in 2019. And this is a portrait of a family in transition, and it's very intimate and very moving. The film remarkably spans nearly 2 decades and gives us an up-close look at a kid and his parents navigating gender identity. Here is a trailer.
Found my very, very first journal. Wanted to be in a movie.
Well, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, I actually have an entire story to tell you.
I wanted to be a boy when I got born.
But for a while, I had a daughter. Now I have a son.
I don't want to be seen as a lost daughter.
I support him and love him with every fiber of my being.
Okay, now we have Blood and Guts. Don't be afraid. This was directed by Carlisle Rubin and Katie Green. And I'm always on the lookout for a levity doc when I'm programming. I'm always looking for a documentary that doesn't feel too intense, too heavy. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we got a levity doc here. This is so much fun. It's about a family that decided to homeschool their 2 daughters, and as a part of their homeschooling, they decided to start making low-budget horror movies together. And they do all the jobs. They write the films, and they act in them, and they create the music, and they shoot it, and they edit it. And their last name is Adams. So, like, they're a real-life Adams family. So I promise that it's not scary, but there is blood and guts, and it's just homemade blood and guts, like art supplies at the kitchen table. Okay, are you guys ready for some fiction? All right, let's get into narrative features. This is really exciting for me this year. We have a really strong local presence with our narrative features, which is super exciting. But before I get to our locals, I'm going to kick off with adult children. This is kind of a dramedy. It's directed by Rich Newey, and you'll for sure recognize some of the actors in his cast, including Betsy Brandt, known for her work on Breaking Bad, and Aya Cash from You're the Worst. This is a story of 4 adult siblings who are thrown together for a week at their childhood home, where they're forced to reckon with their messy lives and the facades that they try to keep up, the lies that they tell themselves and others. And really, it's about finding and embracing your truth and imperfections. It's a lot of fun. Next, we have Other Houses by Thomas Sutherland and S. Cagney Gentry. This is a film that kind of sneaks up on you. It's a quiet and introspective film, and it gives the mind room to roam. In this story, we get to know Radka, a Bulgarian woman living in the U.S., teaching poetry classes and dreaming of returning to her home country. The filmmaker described this story as a life-changing summer of choices in which our protagonist must choose between the American dream or living a creative life back in Bulgaria. Next, we have The Scout. This is a feature directorial debut by Paula Gonzalez Nasser and tells the story of 24 hours in the life of a young woman location scout in New York. Something that I love about this film is I love the exploration of the female point of view. We're literally looking through this young woman's lens and seeing the world the way that she's experiencing it as a young woman. Really great themes around aloneness versus togetherness, connection and alienation that are all sort of common paradoxes in this modern world that we're in. She makes some bold directorial choices here regarding sound as well, and a lack of music to, a reliance on music to sort of tell us how to feel. So I was really struck with that. Okay, so now we're going to talk about local films. This isn't exactly a local film, but it's by director J.C. Mares, who grew up here in Ashland, Oregon. And this film is so impressive. The performances of the young people are so believable, and to me it's always amazing when you're dealing with fiction and you just really believe that the characters are who they are. JC, like I said, grew up here in Ashland, and this film was in part inspired by that experience. It's a coming-of-age story that centers around 12-year-old Stevie as she navigates trying to hang with the cool kids and also trying to decide who she wants to be. We have another directorial debut feature by an Ashland native. This one is called A Simple Machine, directed by Mark Hoffman. This film was shot in Portland, and it's just gorgeous. It's a lush story about being true to yourself. In this story, a young man begins to question all the stuff of life, finding that paring down is more satisfying than he realized. And this is the other film that I was saying has a score by Mark Orton. Here's a clip.
What are you offering for rent?
Month-to-month lease, it's gonna be $3,900.
We're still good with this, right?
Yeah.
I don't want you to be doing this just for me.
I do want to do this. Things aren't always worth the price you pay for them.
Fixing a thing yourself protects one from narcissism.
You get trapped in certain patterns and expectations, and pretty soon you forget. You actually have a choice in the matter.
Sorry about that. Okay, and then, oh my gosh, say what? We have another local film by the iconic Alex Cox, who has made the Rogue Valley his home. And you may be familiar with Alex Cox. He most famously directed Repo Man and Sid and Nancy, many others. Dead Souls is a surreal Western adaptation of Nikolai Gogol's 19th century novel set in the 1890s American Southwest. Alex Cox stars as Strindler, a cryptic conman preacher buying the names of deceased Mexican laborers from landowners to exploit a bureaucratic loophole, exploring themes of greed, racism, and commodity. Alex says that this is his last film, and the film is strange, it's surreal, and it's very Alex Cox. And now we're going to talk about shorts. I've got 5 shorts programs for you this year, 2 doc shorts compilations and 3 fiction. I'm not going to talk about the regular doc shorts and the regular fiction shorts too much. That went out of the newsletter and it'll exist on our website because I really want to talk about what's going on down here at the bottom of the screen. But I will say this. In Something to Believe In, a theme that sort of came together is how do we make sense of the world? Superstition, zeal, and belief systems abound in these 6 stories of people and their passions. And there's kind of a hidden weird little gem in there. I got a submission from Les Blank, which blew my mind because Les passed away several years ago, but his son finished a film that Les had asked him to do for him on his deathbed, and so we get to watch a new Les Blank film in this compilation. Eye of the Beholder. These are all sort of themed around how do we experience reality, differences in perception, and how we face change in the short stories in this one. Talking to strangers. What happens when we talk to strangers? What happens when we take a leap of faith and trust those that we don't know? This is sort of a grab bag of films on that theme. And Love and Time. Time is elastic, love endures, and these are stories in the realm of love and time. Oh, by the way, and those fiction blocks are put together by John Stadelman, who has been doing this for us for years. Incredible. John is such a treasure. So we're so lucky to have him do that for us again this year. Okay, so it's 25 years. I'm new to this role. I really wanted to do things with my predecessors, so I invited Joanne Feinberg, our former director of programming, to put together a shorts program for us. And what she decided to do was to put together a shorts program that are shorts that played with us during her time here. And these are all directors that went on to have amazing careers. And so I'm going to read a statement from Joanne. The film and this shorts program were screened when I was AIFF Director of Programming 2005 to 2015. I remember the films and filmmakers vividly and think about them to this day. When a journey that unfolds is so unique, well-crafted, emotional, and thought-provoking, you know you're seeing something really special. This block includes Wow and Flutter, Victoria Paracino, Glory at Sea, Pariah, Choices, Pioneer, and Stop. The filmmakers have all gone on to make notable and successful feature films. Local legends, Gary and Annie Lundgren, have produced a number of great features located in Oregon, starting with Calvin Marshall. Carrie Jo Fukunaga's Victoria Paracino went on to win the 2005 Student Academy Award, and he went on to direct many outstanding films, including Sin Nombre, Beasts of No Nation, Jane Eyre, and the excellent first season of True Detective. Following Glory at Sea, Ben Zeitlin directed the fabulous and Academy Award-nominated Beasts of the Southern Wild and follow-up Wendy. Dee Rees made a feature-length follow-up to Pariah of the same name and then directed the Academy Award-nominated Mudbound. Rashad Ernesto Green directed his brother Reynaldo in Choices and then made Gun Hill Road, a unique and moving portrait of a Puerto Rican trans teen which screened in Ashland. Reynaldo Marcus Green went on to direct his short Stop and then the Academy Award-winning King Richard and Bob Marley One Love. David Lowery has made a number of beautiful films, including Ghost Story and The Old Man and the Gun with Robert Redford, and his new film, Mother Mary, starring Anne Hathaway, will be released this year. So pretty special collection of shorts. Some of my favorites are in there. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a little video that Richard made because he is our curator of special programs, and he's got a whole section of the festival this year. So bear with me while I pull up Richard's video. Okay, here we go. He's joining us virtually.
Thank you, Aura, for inviting me back to curate special programs for the 25th annual AIFF. Special programs I see as live cinema events that combine films with live performance, unique events you have to experience in a theater. You can't stream them or watch them on your phone. There are also thematic programs with special guests. So let's get started, and I will show you what I've come up with. The first live cinema events are 2 silent film programs accompanied by Donald Sosin and Alicia Svigals. Sosin is one of the foremost silent film composers and accompanists in the world, and he joined forces with Alicia Svigals, who's one of the foremost klezmer violinists. She was a co-founder of the renowned klezmer band, the Klezmatics. They've joined forces to compose a score for a very unusual silent film called The Man Without a World, which is one of our opening night attractions. Let's take a look. Eleanor Anton, the director of the film, is a well-known performance and conceptual artist. And as you probably figured out, she did not make this film in the silent era. She made the film in 1991 to look like it was made in the silent era. And we're thrilled that it's been restored and we can show it to you with this beautiful live music accompaniment. The second silent film program will take place on Saturday morning as a family program for all ages. 3 classic silent comedies by Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, and Laurel and Hardy will be accompanied live by Donald Sosin on keyboards. Now, the My major thematic program this year involves honoring two of the most important film archivists and their archives in the U.S. I'm calling the program Raiders of the Archives. Some of you may remember that when I was director of AIFF, I initiated an annual award called the In the Institution Award, and that was to honor companies that were instrumental in building the infrastructure supporting independent filmmakers. We honored distributors like Women Make Movies and production companies like Cartemquin Films, but I never got around to honoring film archives, so that was unfinished business. If you watch independent documentaries and you stick around for the credits, you will see the name Prelinger Archives credited constantly. Rick Prelinger made it his specialty to focus on films that he has called ephemeral films and more recently useful films. For example, educational films, industrial films, home movies, films that other archives were neglecting, but are vital historical artifacts that independent documentarians treasure. So here's a brief clip from the educational film Rick made about his own archive.
This is Prelinger Archives. You've never seen most of the films in this room. People. These aren't Hollywood movies, although some of them were made in Hollywood.
I wish my living room were all redone. New drapes, new rugs, oh this is fun. It's nice to have a telephone to blend with my new drapes and rugs. A living room that's all our own.
They made
This year is the 25th anniversary, just like it's AIFF's 25th anniversary, of Rick having donated thousands of films from his collection and made them available free to download online through the Internet Archive. It's also the 20th anniversary of the show he puts on every year in San Francisco and other cities called Lost Landscapes of San Francisco, in which he shows newly unearthed archival films going back to 1897 forward, showing historical events and everyday life in San Francisco. When he shows the film, Rick narrates, and he invites audience members to comment and embellish and correct what he says and tell stories about the places depicted. It becomes a lively live cinema event, and that's going to happen here when he brings Lost Landscapes 20, his most elaborate production yet, to the Varsity Theater. Now, Craig Baldwin's Other Cinema is the other film archive that we're honoring, and Craig is also based in San Francisco. Craig is in some ways the worst nightmare of professional archivists. His archive is chaotic, as you can see here. Rick Prelinger says that Craig's Other Cinema archive resembles a Japanese antiquarian bookstore where nothing exists by chance and the arrangement is an artwork of its own. Craig knows every single movie and where it's located, and filmmakers come to him and he hands them the films that they then cut up and use in their films. He especially caters to experimental filmmakers who make what are called found footage films that visually remix conceptually, visually, rhythmically into their movies. These are the kind of films I'm going to emphasize in this series. On Friday afternoon at the program titled Craig Baldwin's Other Cinema, I'm going to show two of Craig Baldwin's own found footage masterpieces, Tribulation 99, Alien Anomalies Under America, and Oh No, Coronado. They're about 40 minutes each. Baldwin calls them pseudo documentaries, and they're wild histories of American and European imperialism that are composed out of found footage. Unfortunately, Craig Baldwin can't come while he's recuperating from an illness, but he's sending one of his best friends, the animator and musician Jeremy Rourke. As you'll see here, Rourke's modus operandi is to play guitar and sing his songs in front of his own animated films. Rourke has filmed a tribute to Craig Baldwin and his archives that he will perform live before the two Craig Baldwin films. Here's an excerpt.
Are you there? Are you there?
You're going to have a second opportunity to see Jeremy Rourke perform a full concert of his music and animated films, which he's going to project on 16mm film and video on Saturday afternoon at the White Rabbit Clubhouse. Rourke's an incredibly talented artist and performer, and I highly recommend this show. The next found footage filmmaker I'm inviting is the great Jay Rosenblatt, who is also out of San Francisco and whose short archival films have garnered him 2 Academy Award nominations. Rosenblatt tends to explore intense psychological states in his films, so he's titled the show Fear and Anxiety. Here's a clip of one of them.
You are drowsy, so drowsy, relaxing more and more and drifting into a soft, quiet, restful sleep. And 5, and your eyes are wide open.
Our next archival filmmaker guests are two sisters from Australia who call themselves Soda Jerk, and they made one of the most exciting found footage films of the past decade called Hello Dankness. This film is composed mostly of Hollywood film clips that are re-edited to comment on the insanity of the Donald Trump era. Here's a brief taste.
Hi, I'm Wayne Campbell. Excellent. Let me bring you up to speed. Come on.
So, let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Won't you please, won't you be?
On to our next guest, Rankin Rennick, an experimental filmmaker who works with archival footage and who's based in Portland, and Stacey Steers, based in Boulder, who just finished a gorgeous animated film that collages images of silent film actresses. Stacey and Rankin are coming to present a program of experimental found footage films that remix images of female movie stars called Stars to Watch. I promise you that this is the most visually spectacular program in the festival. The Raiders of the Archive program wraps up with two more films without guest artists present. The first is WTO 99, about the World Trade Organization protests in Seattle in 1999, that has been brilliantly edited from archival home video camera footage and TV news reports. And the final film in the series is one I'm very excited about because it is the found footage movie classic, The Movie Orgy. It was made by the filmmaker Joe Dante in 1972 with John Davison. Dante went on to make Gremlins and other Hollywood films, but this is a 4.5-hour mega mix of commercials and newsreels and trashy film clips that's been a legendary cult film that few have seen and was just restored. You're welcome to come and go from the White Rabbit Clubhouse as it plays. Here's the trailer.
I don't know how the kids feel, but I really found out what they're thinking in this picture.
Okay, so that's it for my Raiders of the Archive program, except for one last thing. Many of our archival filmmaker guests, including Jay Rosenblatt, Rankin Rennick, Rick Prelinger, Stacey Steers, and Soda Jerk, will join me for a talkback on Friday afternoon at White Rabbit called Raiding the Archive, where we'll discuss how artists turn the raw materials of film archives into exciting new cinema. So that's it for my special programs. So back now to Aura, who will wrap up preview night and tell you about the special awardees we invited this year. And I look forward to seeing you all at the 25th AIFF in April.
Oh, goodness. Lost my spot. Here we go. All right. You guys know Richard is brilliant, right? I'm so excited for those programs. I've seen a bunch of that work, and it's really, really great. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. And we have so many of those amazing people coming. Other amazing people that are coming are our awardees. So first up, Sam Green. Sam Green is a singular sort of filmmaker and a perfect person to shine a light on this year. He's best known for his love of what he calls live documentaries, meaning that he often incorporates a live component in his work. Sometimes it's live narration, sometimes it's live music. He has had a celebrated career as a filmmaker, a Sundance darling, and was nominated for an Oscar for his film The Weather Underground. He just premiered his newest work at Sundance in January, and it's a doc called The Oldest Person in the World. This is a lot of things. It's a first-person exploration into both the idea of aging as a concept, but also, pardon me, but also just as a reality. In this film, Sam travels the world in a decade-long global journey chronicling the ever-changing record holders of the title of oldest person alive. And what begins as a portrait of longevity becomes a meditation on the passage of time, the randomness of fate, and the joy and profound human experience of being alive. This film has a single showing on Friday night of the festival. Also in celebration of Sam Green, I'll be showing his film 32 Sounds from 2022. I couldn't resist showing this one because I don't know if some people may know or may not know, but I had a previous career as a sound effects editor and recordist at Skywalker Sound. And this is a film that really gives you an immersive idea of what those realities are like, and explores the idea of sound, how it affects memory, how it affects consciousness, just all about sound. And also, it has J.D. Sampson of Le Tigre in it, so like, what's not to love? Anyway, let's check it out. Woo, going back, sorry.
Are you rolling?
Scene one, take one.
Hello, and welcome. Welcome to 32 Sounds. I was sitting at my kitchen table late one night thinking about these tapes. Voicemail messages that I saved over the years. How does a little piece of tape hold a person, make it seem like they're alive? I was wondering why sound has such a strange power.
I love this song.
I'm listening to a whole other world down there. Aquatic insects, bugs, fish. I think of sound as being a channel of connection.
A lot of people ask me, why sound? All I could say is that something was driving me to make this movie, even if I couldn't say exactly what.
Hello, and welcome to 32 Sounds.
That's how you do it. Okay.
Okay, and we also have a Pride Award winner this year, and it is Cheryl Dunye. Cheryl Dunye is iconic for a lot of reasons. Her first feature film, Watermelon Woman, created quite a stir when it came out in the 90s. And to me, it's true indie cinema. She had an idea, she had limited means, and no one had done anything quite like it, and she went for it, and she was heard. She's bold, subversive, funny, and unapologetic. Amen to that. I'm going to show you a little trailer for Watermelon Woman.
Hi, I'm Cheryl, and I'm a
filmmaker. Nah, I'm not really a filmmaker, but I have a videotaping business with my friend Tamara, and I work at a video store, so I'm working on being a filmmaker. The problem is I don't know what I want to make a film on. I know it has to be about black women because our stories have never been told. So I've been renting movies. No, I haven't been renting movies, but I get movies from the video store that I work at, and I've taken all these films out from the 30s and 40s with black actresses in them, like Hattie McDaniel and Louise Beavers. And in these films, in some of the films, the black actresses aren't even listed in the credits, and I was just totally shocked by that. So in this one film that came into the store, Plantation Memories, I saw the most beautiful black mammy named Elsie, and I just had to show this, so watch.
Oh, don't cry, Missy. Master Charles is coming back for sure. I know he is. Do you really think so, Elsie? Oh, yes, Missy Barbara, I know he is. I prayed to God all night long, and this morning, his little angel told me that he was coming back to you.
Her name, the Watermelon Woman. That's right, Watermelon Woman. Is Watermelon Woman her first name, her last name, or is it her whole name? I don't know, but girlfriend has it going on, and I think I've figured out what my project's gonna be on. I'm gonna make a movie about her. I'm gonna find out what her real name is, who she was and is, everything I can find out about her. Because something in her face, something in the way she looks and moves is serious, is interesting. And I'm going to just tell you all about it.
Okay, so we're also going to be doing an afternoon of exploring some of Cheryl's short works and engaging in conversation about them. I really love these films, and I think that there's going to be plenty to unpack. Cheryl will be here with us in person to discuss her singular point of view and why these films still resonate. Okay, I got one more thing, and then I'm going to let you guys go home for the evening. But first, I want to tell you about our closing night film. This is a film that also just debuted at Sundance and was also developed from a short from a few years ago. It's called If I Go, Will They Miss Me? By Walter Thompson Hernandez. Hernandez developed this into a feature after the success of his short film of the same name. And I was really struck by the rock-solid performances. And it is, again, just amazing when you really believe all of the characters. It's the story of a 12-year-old boy trying really hard to connect with his father, who's been absent for several years. But it's also a story about learning to forgive yourself, and the story around male emotion, healing, and reconciling trauma. There is mythology and a touch of the surreal to keep you on your toes and give you some metaphor to think about, and it's just a really moving and beautiful film. So this is the last trailer of the night. Here you go.
Did he ever get to fly?
Nah.
I know you ain't scared. Come on. It ain't that cold.
Pegasus' dad was God. They called him Poseidon. He was buff and he had muscles, and he was the strongest ever.
I don't want to have to keep telling you. Don't keep drawing me, man. Somebody told me you got your ass whooped while I was gone. How you think that make me look out here?
You're not perfect. Your daddy is a work in progress. I'm a work in progress, but we're gonna figure this out.
Ooh, are we liking it?
No, not at all.
I don't know what you're trying to prove, but whatever it is, you need to stop that shit.
take Anthony to the beach one time and just expect everything to go back to normal. It don't work like that.
I don't feel like fucking talking today, bro.
I read through all of those letters that you sent me. You was a whole different person.
Don't be scared of how he sees you. Hold on to him tight. Don't let him fly away. Don't let them take him away. Tell him you love him.
If I go,
That's what I'm doing.
will they miss me?
You flying?
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay, you guys, that is a wrap. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I really hope to see you in April at the movies. Thank you.